In this can't miss episode, we're going to take your questions and answer them for you. We have questions regarding scripting. We have questions regarding what we learned at MortgageCon. We have questions about when to hire an assistant. How about questions about online leads? Yep, we have you covered. And we even have a question regarding the overall sentiment of the mortgage industry. And oh, by the way, I'm going to introduce you to this guy right here. Check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen. And with me from the TLOP Crew, I got Marketing Mike, I got Money Mark, and we have our producer extraordinaire, the one, the only, Karina Mojica. What's happening, y'all?
Hi, what's up?
What's happening, y'all?
Let's go.
Let's go, Mike says.
Go.
Let's go. Mark, welcome to your first episode.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
This has been 3 years in the making for Mark Holmes. Anyone who is either a coach with TLOP's Originator Coaching, or if you're a member of our coaching community, you already know who this guy is. Like, he is my right hand. He is the man with the plan, the guy that gets shit done. But for everyone else, you may have never met Mark Holmes before. I'll give you a brief intro, Mark, if that's all right.
Go for it.
All right, this dude's a retired professional basketball player who just moved down to Orlando, Florida, for the sole purpose to keep his money on his mind on his money. This dude has ownership interest in not one but two companies, one of those being TLOP, but more importantly, he has been the guy behind the scenes for the past 3 years when I had this wild, crazy idea to go out and shape the future of mortgage industry. Mark's been the guy doing the heavy lifting. So we're excited to bring you on as a cast member, Mark, and to come hang out with us.
Money Mark.
Money Mark.
You know, it's actually the Deacon.
It is the
We're
Deacon.
going with the Deacon because that's just what people call me back.
Oh, he's changing it up.
Yeah. I mean, Money Mark is still a person. That's just more of an alter ego, though.
Okay, but how are you the Deacon?
I mean, that's kind of a long story.
Well, we don't have time for a long story.
We'll put it
Give
this
us
way.
the
We'll put it
30-second
this way.
version.
We'll do a quick one here. So, as a college athlete, when we had no coach type practices, we had guys always trying to fight. And me being kind of the alpha, I was the best on the team.
Hey.
I could just give the ball to the other team and say, in my mind, we're going to beat you anyway. Don't care. Dudes start fighting. I always break it up. One day, this little scrappy guard, he was a freshman, he goes, Mark, yo, Deacon ass always trying to stop some shit. Yeah. And then it went quiet, and then everyone busted out laughing.
That's awesome.
From that day, I was the Deacon.
First time I heard that story.
Yeah, and if you're looking for him on Instagram, you will find him not just Mark Holmes. He's Mark E. Holmes, by the way. You and my son share the same middle name. We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but you all share the same middle name.
It's a good middle name.
It's a great middle name, yeah. Is it a family name for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, family name for us as well. But no, he is the Deacon on Instagram. So I like to call you Money Mark because there's a funny inside joke amongst the TLOP family about Money Mark.
For another time.
And we won't tell that story. That's a story you tell at a bar at 10:30 at night when you're on like day 2 of a conference.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's when it happened on day 2 of a conference.
So Money Mark was born day 2 at a conference at 10:30. If you haven't hung out with the TLOP crew at a conference, you're definitely missing out. But in order to keep today's show flowing, what I want to do is, Karina, I'm gonna kick it to you. So we've collected questions. Some are on YouTube, some came in through Instagram. A couple people hit me up on LinkedIn. And we picked the 5 questions that we felt like would be the most relevant to do an entire episode discussing. And this isn't our first time doing an episode like this, and it sure as heck won't be our last. It's y'all's first time doing an episode like this. JC and I did these back in the day. They are by far my favorite because it's the way that we know we're giving the people what they need, and more importantly, what they want. So in no particular order, Karina, what question do you have for the group? And sometimes we'll round robin these answers. Sometimes I may just take it, run with it, and we'll move on to the next. But what do you have to kick us off?
What do I say when a realtor already tells me they have a lender?
Wow. Okay, so I get to hear this question at least once a week, every single week for the past decade. It is one of my favorite questions to answer. Before I answer it, I want to have each of you give your best 60-second answer to that question because, truth be told, Karina's not even old enough to buy a house yet. I mean, technically you are, right? Technically, you're old enough to get married, to rent a car soon, to book a hotel room. But
based on the median.
But based on the median, you're not old enough to buy a house yet, right? You are our ideal audience. Mark knows the mortgage industry because he's been a recruiter in the mortgage industry, and he's been working with TLOP for the past almost 3 years. And then Mike's just a serial entrepreneur who's a badass marketer, but he's been with me for the past year, and he has clients that are real estate agents and clients that are loan officers. So I'm curious to get Mike's answer. But before we give the answers, we got to pay some bills. So let's take a quick pause so we can listen and hear from today's show sponsor. Check this out. Y'all, something big is happening at Lower Mortgage. And if you're paying attention to this industry, you've probably noticed. In just the last month alone, Lower has added some serious horsepower. We're talking top producers representing over $350 million in volume. These aren't rookies kicking tires. These are heavy hitters who've done their homework and made the move. That should tell you something. On top of that, Lower just acquired Movoto, a top 5 real estate portal with over 150 visitors just last year. Before that, they brought in Neat Labs, and now they're launching Lower OS, a next-gen mortgage platform that's cutting loan delivery times down to 10 days. This isn't a company standing still. Lower doubled their volume last year, and they're projecting another 40 to 50% growth this year. The best in the business are taking notice, and they're voting with their feet. Here's the reality. The companies that are going to win in this market are the ones investing in technology, building real infrastructure, and competing at scale. Lower is doing all of that. They're going head to head with the Rockets of the world, and they're built for originators, not against them. If you're a producer who wants to be a part of something that's actually going somewhere, not just surviving, but growing, this is the moment. Lower Mortgage, the momentum is real. You can check them out and find more information by going to company.lower.com. Or you can always reach out to my dude, Craig Montgomery, and make sure you tell him TLOP said what's up. Okay, so we're back. Who wants to jump on this hand grenade first?
I'll go first.
All right, fire away. What would you say? So you're a loan originator, Mike, and someone says to you, I already have a lender.
So this just happened with one of our realtor clients. I don't know the outcome. I don't know what direction they went, but they did bring it up to me because they know about my involvement in TLOP's originator coaching.
And you were trying to actually introduce them.
I was trying to introduce them to someone in our network.
Yes.
So I don't know what the outcome was, but for me, I mean, this is, I'm kind of blindsided here. So I think first what I would do is give them a value proposition, right? I'd have to establish whatever my value is that I bring to the table as a loan originator, whether that's loan products or whether that's a process so that their customer has the best experience possible. I think at the end of the day, the realtor is concerned with the way that we treat their customers or that an LO treats their customer. And building, again, I'll go back to the value proposition where if I can keep that customer happy and in the realtor's network for years to come, they might want to partner up with me over someone else.
Okay, so if I'm listening to you correctly, you're telling me you're going to have a dialed in, predictable process.
Yep. Correct.
That is A+, like raving fan level service.
Yes.
And you're going to differentiate yourself because you're going to say to that realtor something along the lines of, hey, I understand you probably already have a lender.
Yeah.
But does your lender operate like this, this, and this? Or maybe you would say, but what if I told you I operate this, this, and this? Would that bring you value? Would that make your life easier? Would that allow you to generate more leads from your closed clients because the experience with me was that much greater than with any other lender?
Yes.
That's the approach you're taking.
Absolutely. Yep.
I like that. So few originators are that scripted and dialed in. And when you find those that are, they are the ones that are doing 200, 300 units a year, making $500,000 to $1 million a year.
Right.
And by the way, if you get to know Mike the way that I've gotten to know him, there's no one more dialed in. I dotted, T crossed. I joke. He makes me look like the nice guy. Karina, so you're the baby of the bunch, right? Yeah. And you may be like, dude, I got an answer for you, and that's totally fine. But just guess, if you're a newly licensed originator, like you're 25 years old, there's a lot of people your age getting their MLO license, and they're going to be going out into the real world where it's scary and you have to talk to adults, and they're going to be trying to get realtors who sometimes are older than their grandparents to meet with them. And that realtor is going to say, yeah, but I already have a lender. What would you do? What would your go-to be?
trying to
Pass.
see how
No
I'm better
pressure.
than them somehow, some way.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how. I don't know what my
Asking
qualifications would have to be, but yeah, just
Okay.
trying to be better than them. in
Try to
any
be better
way,
than
shape,
them.
or form,
Yeah, try to be
Okay.
better than them.
Okay.
Which, if you were one of my coaching students, I would say try to be better is great, but do you know what better is? Right? Or do you know who they are?
Right.
Because more than likely, I don't know who they are. Now, don't get me wrong. We have services like Model Match. Shout out to Eric and the whole entire team. We have services like Redder. Shout out to Steven and that whole entire team. MMI, Big Purple Dot, etc. You can look up the data, and I can see what a particular realtor is producing, who their loan officers are. You can maybe guess who their go-to LO was, but normally you're not going to know. And you also don't know what's important to that particular agent, because what's important to you may be exactly the opposite of what's important to me. But I like where you're going. It's a great start. Your start will probably lead me to my answer. But Mark, I'm curious. You've now been around 5 amazing coaches over the past 3 years. You've watched us coach hundreds of MLOs and mortgage brokers. What answer would you give?
Yep. So my answer is definitely cheating, because I've never actually had to say this. I've heard you guys preach it so many times. I've had members ask me this question and give the answer just because I listened to you. But since we've established I'm a sports guy, I'm gonna go with even Tom Brady was a backup.
Hey.
And what I mean by that is, just being okay with being a second option, being the Scottie Pippen to someone's Jordan, and basically saying like, hey, look, your primary lender may not be able to do every single deal that comes across your board. Give me a shot once that happens.
Yeah.
So I
it's-
know that doesn't sound
No,
polished, but you get the
it's,
gist.
It's the backup lender. You're
Yeah.
going in saying, I want to be the backup lender. So if a realtor had said to me, hey, Dustin, sorry, I already have a lender. Here's my exact answer. Well, of course you do. Like, I wouldn't be calling on you if you didn't already have a lender. And the reason why I say that is because every agent that I work with already had a lender, because I only work with agents that are full-time professional and at the top of their game. And I've yet to meet a full-time professional realtor at the top of their game who didn't already have a lender. So I'm not calling you today to try to replace the relationship you have with your other lender. But what I have learned with all these other relationships I have with agents just like you, I have learned that you need as many tools in your tool belt to help you sell as many homes every year so you can make the most money, so you can save the most money and invest the most money, and then sometimes even tithe the most money. So I'm not asking you to meet with me because I have something to sell you. I don't. I'm not asking you to meet with me because I want to replace your lender, because right now I don't. But I'm asking you to meet with me because I believe if I get to know you, there's a chance you're missing a couple tools in your tool belt, and there's a chance I have those tools. If I can get to know you, I can get to know where you're going in your business. I can find those tools that you need, introduce them to you for the sole goal that I help you sell an extra home or two next year, help you make 10 or 20 grand more in personal income so that you can save and invest better. That's the reason why I'm calling.
Solid.
And then at that standpoint, I go in for my close. Do you prefer mornings or afternoons? How about Tuesday or Thursday? Right now, this isn't a whole entire class on sales psychology, but for anyone who has studied sales or even sales psychology, all throughout that, I have dropped little small NLP-isms, right? Whether it was like most agents that I work with, I'm letting you know I work with a lot of agents, right? I don't need to be your number one. I'm giving you permission to fire me as a Sandler sales tactic. Like, hey, I don't need you. This might not work out. This might not be for you.
Yeah.
Every other relationship started this same exact way. And at the same time, I'm looking for value. But what I don't know is I don't know what brings them value. Are they a tech person? Are they I only work with lenders who refer me or pay for my marketing person? Are they I only love people who are wildly accessible? I mean, sometimes, like, if I don't have money, I sit down with someone, I get to know them, and the one thing I can do for them is call all of their old expired leads. It costs me no money. It just costs me time. But early on in my career, I don't have money, but I do have time. And that time is a value that I could add. So that's where I would take that question coming out of the gates. Fantastic question to the listener who actually, I think that one came in through Instagram, but appreciate it. We didn't make it a full episode out of it. I think they wanted a whole episode, but we at least gave you our best 7 to 10 minutes. What's next, Karina?
Was there anything that we learned at Mortgage Con?
Ooh, anything we learned at Mortgage Con. Mike, This was your first. Was this your first mortgage event?
This was my second. I did MortgageCon last year, but I wasn't a participant. I didn't quite participate. This year I participated.
So what was your favorite part about being at MortgageCon? And by the way, shout out to John and Joe and the entire crew over at MortgageCon. They freaking knocked it out of the park.
Crushed it.
Again, what an amazing time we had at Universal Studios Orlando.
The theme song was on fire.
The theme song.
MortgageCon.
Dude,
look it up.
Hey,
Spotify.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Go.
If you know, you know.
Absolutely.
If you don't, you missed out.
Yeah.
No, what stood out to you, Mark? Or Mike?
Outside of the song, I really like the way that they formatted the duels. The categories were cool, like the social media, the leadership, the AI category. It was cool to watch everybody battle it out on stage, and the perspectives that came into that. Not everyone's presentation was the same, right? Yeah. So we got to hear from different personalities with different strategies. And you know, shout out to you for the leadership duel.
Yeah,
for winning it.
Yeah, a pat on the back.
Took home some gold.
Yeah, TLOP took home the blue ribbon. Look, here's some advice to anyone who's either going to be hosting their own event or anyone who maybe even does like sales conferences for their company. Because like recently I've been able to speak at Novus Home Mortgage, Empire Financial. I'm heading out to Town Bank. Later this year, I'm doing something for the Oklahoma Mortgage Bankers.
Yep.
I make myself available to do about 12 of these events a year. I've done 4 already. So that means I have 8 more to go if anyone's interested. But these battles, like imagine this. You had 4 topics, 2 on one day, 2 on the next. But 4 people per battle, each person was given 10 minutes. So they were given a topic. My topic was leadership. So I went against some really who's in the mortgage industry.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, a mega producer. I've gone across someone who's an author of a book. Dan's one of the most recognized LinkedIn experts in the space. And we each got 10 minutes and the audience voted. And the audience voted that they liked my presentation on leadership better than the other 4. But I will tell you, and shout out to Michelle and Ashley and to Dan.
Yeah, they did great.
I think ours was the best of all 4. I'm a little partial, but then they did the same thing for social media, the same thing for AI, and the same thing for marketing. So that was a really cool concept and not something that is done often enough.
Right. Mark,
Mark, how about you? What was your favorite part about being at MortgageCon? And you can't say the roller coasters that we rode because that was pretty badass.
Well, I need another second to think. No,
Hey, what was the name of that roller coaster that we went on?
We call it Hagrid's,
Hagrid's?
but I don't think it's
Hagrid's
actually
Motorbike
called
Adventure.
Hagrid's
Oh, man.
Motorbike Adventure. It's an Islands of Adventure.
we rode it 8 times in a row.
We rode it so many times
Insane.
that I had to stop riding, took a break, got some butter beer, and calmed down a little bit because my head was spinning. But no, what was your favorite part? Was it one of the speakers? Or?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say, first of all, most of the time when we go to these conferences, I'm off in a corner working.
Yes.
And I don't really get to see, or at the booth, so I don't really get to see the speeches. So this time I actually got to sit in there the whole time. Like Mike said, a lot of different topics, a lot of experts up there that, you know, really know what they're doing. But I felt like there was one thing that really tied in. There was a theme that everyone kind of was going with, and that was authenticity and the human approach. And if we're talking about a speaker that we'll say I enjoyed the most, they kicked it off with Renee Rodriguez.
Yes.
And that's really, you know, it's all about influence and holding someone's attention. And by doing that with your signature story and everything like that. And, you know, I read his book. I've seen the presentation once before. The second time I saw it, it was, you know, just as good. Yeah.
Karina, how about you? This was your first event like this ever, right? Mm-hmm. What stood out to you?
I liked just learning about the content creation and social media.
Well, you had a lot of badass content creators. Neil Dingra, Trevor
sure.
York.
Good
yes.
I like how Neil talked
the Mortgage
about,
Dads. Yeah, shout out to the Mortgage Dads.
Yes.
I liked how Neil talked about, he said something like, try to envision yourself like auditioning in front of your audience every time you go to post something. Like, try to do it to the best of your ability every time. Like, so yeah. It was really good. I liked it.
And my favorite part, and don't get me wrong, like I've hyped up this event. It's the coolest one. It really is. Like we have VIP access to Universal one night and to Islands of Adventure the next night from like 8 to 11.
Yes.
It was just us in one part of the park, not the whole park, but in one part. It was great networking. They had food, they had drinks, and they had rides with no lines.
Right.
And that's a whole lot of fun, especially for someone who avoids theme parks because I don't like the lines. Mm-hmm. This was like a treat. But no, for me, it's the Sunday night before. It's the kickoff party. Everyone's there. We're at the Hard Rock Hotel. I go to events because of the networking and the masterminding, and it's whether it's seeing people for the first time, maybe we follow each other online, or it's reconnecting with old friends. Like Renee and I have been friends for, we talked about this 18 years. Wow. But it was that friendship that Renee then introduced me to Charlie Rocket. Charlie was speaking the next day. Well, Renee knows Charlie, and Renee knows me, and I was like, oh, he's the keynote. Well, guess what happens? I get him on the show. Now, all of a sudden, I have a friendship with Charlie, and had I not gone to the Sunday kickoff part, like that wouldn't have happened. I got to see Chris Parker from UWM, and like I love our relationship with UWM, but every moment I can spend with Chris or with Shelby is good. It's good for business. Yeah. It's good for my soul. Like, so for me, it's always going to be the networking aspect over any speaker you may put me in front of. Hey, speaking of events, should we even discuss?
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give the people what
the people want to know.
The people want to know. TLOP is finally doing its own event. I've put this off for 3 years. Y'all have asked. I have ignored. Not anymore. We have reserved on Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas. There we go. Got the drum roll going. There we go. Drum roll going. September 14th through 18th. It's called TLOP Unite Caribbean Takeover. So imagine getting on one of the largest and best cruise ships in the world on a Monday around noon. The boat will sail off around 4 p.m. that day. We're going to go to the Bahamas. We're going to a private island. The boat will get us back to land by first thing Friday morning, first thing like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be an experience, tons of networking, tons of activities. There's going to be one day that you can spend in Nassau, Bahamas, and there'll be one day that we dedicate to a conference-like event. We currently have already sold out the top sponsorship. So our premier VIP, what do you call it, Mike?
The captain sponsor.
The captain sponsor. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Hoper. If you don't know what the Hoper loan is, go to Google, type in HOPER. The company behind Hoper is AHA. That's AHA. Mike and his entire team are doing amazing things, making homeownership more affordable and making financial literacy a thing to be focused on. And they do it all through their Hoper program. They are our captain sponsor. So it's going to be TLOP Unite Caribbean Takeover brought to you by Hoper. So we're really excited about it. We have our marketing collateral coming out in the next week or two. Stay tuned, but it's going to be extremely affordable. I'm talking
two things on that, too, before we go into pricing. Number one, if you're interested in this cruise, drop a comment. And number two, if you're interested in being a sponsor, reach out to Steven at tloponline.com. And he'll send you our one-pager with the opportunities available.
Yeah, and that's STEPHEN.
Good call. Yep,
yeah, his parents don't like the V. They went for the PH, so it's Steven at tloponline.com. Yep. And we only have 9 sponsorships.
And you were going into the pricing.
Well, yeah, but we only have 9 sponsorships. We're not looking to make money on this. I'm not looking to lose money either. I'm looking at creating something that's really freaking cool for the mortgage industry. We only have 100 rooms available, so when they're gone, they're gone.
Yep.
Maybe I can beg Royal Caribbean to give us 30 or 40 more.
Yep.
They didn't make us any promises, but they also haven't told us no yet. So that information is going to come out. If you're interested in being a sponsor, again, the big sponsorship level is taken. We have 2 at the $7,500 level. We have 3 at the $5,000 level, and we have 5 at the $2,500 level. The top 2 levels, we actually include a cabin for you. So your sponsorship includes a cabin. But no, the pricing, I mean, I think I looked at this the other day. It's like $1,300 for a double occupancy interior room.
Correct.
All the way up to like $1,800 for double occupancy balcony room.
Yep.
Right. So imagine you and your spouse, you and your significant other, you and a colleague, right?
Yeah.
They can put 2 twin beds in your cabin and you can make this thing extremely affordable, or you can even make it a little bit of a shared experience where your spouse gets to come along. You're networking, you're going to go to a conference, but they get to hang out by the pool or go to the beach or get the hair braided while they're in Nassau.
Yes.
So the dates, again, September 14th through 18th. Just stay tuned. But we are super freaking excited about it, especially coming off of Mortgage Con.
Let's go.
All right, what do you have next for us, Karina?
How would you describe the overall temperature of the mortgage industry?
So I want to go last on this, if that's okay.
I want to say one word.
Okay.
And I could be way off. But from what I saw at the conference, from the engagement we see on social media, like inflection point, I don't know.
Ooh, that's a big word for me. Breakdown inflection point for you.
Breakdown inflection point is there's two reasons for this. We have kind of the coming on of AI, and I don't want to even talk about it on this episode, right? Because we talk about it so much.
I'll be like,
yeah, I know. Pause. So, but with wait a minute. But with the coming on of AI, I think loan originators are wondering how can I leverage this? What can I do with it? Should I be leveraging it or not? So that, and number two is the current administration. Like, there's so much uncertainty. Are we going to buy the rates down? Like, what is going to happen? Is going to be a refinance
you mean Captain
war?
Spaz tweet and his buddy Billy Pulte?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Well, there could be a refi war. Like, who knows what's going to happen this year? I think it's an inflection point where, like, loan originators, they're going to go left, they're going to go right. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in the industry. I'm not a loan originator, could be off, right? I'm just opening my ears and trying to listen.
I mean, you guys were just at MortgageCon. Well, I know I'm going to say, Karina, give me 2 words. Come out of MortgageCon, because that's your only experience, right? If you said the entire mortgage industry is represented within the 400 people that were at that conference last week in Orlando at Universal, what 2 words come to mind for you?
Maybe like determined.
Okay. So you were with a lot of people that you felt like were determined.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, you're there for a reason. You want to improve somehow, some
Yeah.
way. And this is hard.
Yeah, you know what? Stop there. This is hard. This shit is
sorry.
hard.
Okay,
No, that was the sentiment.
No,
I am determined, but this shit is hard.
Yeah.
Would be a great way to sum up how many originators and mortgage brokers feel. Mark, how about you? Now, I want you to take this context, because again, if you know Mark's role and his importance to all things TLOP, especially our coaching community, like, you dialogue the most with our coaches. You dialogue the most with all of our members, because whether it's their membership renewal going through you, whether it's their onboard going through you, even troubleshooting if they get logged out and need to reset their password, that goes through you. How would you describe the mortgage sentiment to this viewer who is asking the question?
Yeah, this is definitely a tough one. But I am going to piggyback off of Mike, because you make a good point. But as it pertains, like, so all the uncertainty and all the new, I guess, tools that are out there, like AI or the ability to self-market yourself on social media, and these things that are, some of it is unproven, but it's proven, if that makes sense, right? So as it pertains to our members, what I've been noticing is, I don't know if it's like positivity or if it's this motivation, but there is this level of engagement that I'm seeing where people are just getting out of their comfort zone, because I think maybe they see that, hey, we don't know how this is going to go, so I'm getting after it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get after it now.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say the sentiment is bipolar. Like, there's a group of us that we're worn the fuck out. Worn the fuck out. Come on. I'm tired of this shit. Now, we're still determined, right? We still recognize that it doesn't matter what's happening in the environment. Our job is to put our heads down, our blinders on, and we grind, right? And most of us who have made it this far, we're still licensed. We still run our branches. We still have our companies opened. That is what we're doing. Yet there's a segment that they got licensed in 21 or 22. This is all they know. Or they got licensed in 19. This is all they know. And they're crushing it. I mean, we have men and women who coach with us, right? They pay us to be part of our coaching services, our coaching platform. And 3 years ago, they had never closed a loan. Last year, they closed $52 million. 3 years ago, they never closed a loan, or maybe they closed 1 or 2 loans. Last year, they did $42 million.
Yeah.
They're opening their own branches. Some of them are opening up their own companies, right? Like, I'm thinking about Cooper Skelton. Like, shout out to Cooper. I mean, Coop. 7 years ago, he wasn't even in the industry, right? Right now, he's taken on like a area manager role. He's recruiting. He's personally producing. He's opening new branches. I mean, this dude is absolutely getting after it, and this is all he knows. But I have friends, and I actually know the person who asked this question, and he's a 30-year veteran. So I know what he was angling for, but I felt like if he's angling that way, I wonder what others are feeling as well. And it's kind of all over the place. But here's what I can say. 26 will be better than 25. Like, I'd make a sizable wager on it. 25 was better than 24. But 26 is going to be like we're still climbing out of a deep hole that we got dropped into. And, you know, as we climb, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And it's a slow, steady crawl. So I don't see anything transpiring this year where someone's going to wave a magic wand and we're like, oh my gosh, it's 2016 all over again. By the way, 2016 was the last Cinderella year. I felt like 2017 wasn't so bad. 2018 was a kick to the nuts. 2019, things weren't looking better overall, but they were better than 18. 2020, for those that remember, first 2 months were god awful. And then COVID hit, and then the economic stimulus hit, then all of a sudden we had free money, and well, the rest is history. So I think overall, the right people with the right mindset are getting after it. They're determined, even if it's hard, and they're winning. Yeah. But you have a lot of people who are worn the F out, and they just need to find their second win somehow, some way. And I will tell you that a lot of consolidation is happening. A lot of mergers. There are people who are fighting to get bigger, and they think bigger is better because they think bigger is going to be their ability to afford better technology, more technology, and overall drive down the cost to originate, which when you drive down the cost to originate, you can infuse that back into your rate sheet, at which point you can attract more volume. But volume doesn't always pay the bills. Profitability does.
Is this consolidation good for the common originator?
Ooh.
Great question.
Verdict's still out on that one. Like, the verdict's still out. Consolidation is, I mean, look, it's just what happens. If you look at the banking industry, you look at travel industry, you look at financial advisory industry. I mean, consolidation is pretty much done in those industries, and now it's being done to ours. So I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent for the originator. Only time will tell. I think for the originator, you just have to focus on what you can focus on, and that is your personal brand, right? That is becoming like the most known person in your market, and that is being someone who offers a value or a service, at which point you can take that, and regardless of company size, you'll be very employable because you're the most influential person. Hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Addie Mortgage. I don't know if y'all can see my shirt. You can't see it if you're on Spotify or Apple. If you're on Spotify and Apple, by the way, please know we have an entire badass YouTube channel that isn't just the podcast. Like, we have a thing called Coach's Corner and Mortgage School and Talk Mortgage to Me and the DO Show. And you can go to that channel, you can subscribe, and you can enjoy all of that free content. But the shirt I'm rocking says Mortgage Superhero. And I got it a couple months ago when I was down in Fort Lauderdale hanging out with my friends over at Addie Mortgage. So I want to give them a quick shout out, just like I want to give a shout out to Mortgage Action Alliance, Ma. Mark Holmes, Money Mark, the Deacon. The Deacon is rocking his Ma hat. They sent us 2 hats. I promised we would continue to support the Mortgage Action Alliance. Y'all, it's our industry. If you want to have your voice heard, you do so through a grassroots effort. Ma is your ability to talk to your senators and your congresspeople and advocate for the things that are important to us. Right now, probably legislation that would be around things like credit reports. How to make credit reports cheaper? You better believe our friends over at Ma through the Mortgage Bankers Association are out advocating on our behalf. But I want to give a shout out to Ma.
Trigger leads.
Trigger leads, yes.
Or was that 3 years ago?
Well, it's been every year for the past probably decade, but we finally got trigger lead legislation passed last year. It went into play this year, and it was through some grassroots advocacy through Ma, which is why Mark reps their hat. Money Ma. Oh, Money Ma? We just stop there. We don't put in the RK.
You got to hold the K off.
Very cool. Karina, what's next?
What are your thoughts on running ads online?
I have a lot of thoughts.
You do have a lot of thoughts. Y'all should know this about Mike and I. We love each other. We bring the best out of each other, and sometimes we go like butt heads, like 2 big old rams in, I don't even know, Denali, right?
Right.
Like, and it's because he's a marketing guy who wants to oversimplify everything. I'm a mortgage guy who I'm like, look at my scars and my battle wounds. I'm battle tested. That shit doesn't work. And you're like,
experience. You have a lot of
experience. Yeah. So it's kind of like a technologist who wants to come into mortgage space and they want to oversimplify things. And I get, I'm like, oh, who's on my grass? I become like the grumpy old boomer. All right. What are your thoughts on, what was the question again?
Yeah.
Mark was talking too much.
Line?
What are your thoughts on running ads online?
Yeah. For me, I'll lead this off. Direct-to-consumer ads are very difficult. They're very expensive. Your consumer is looking for a house. They're not necessarily thinking about am I going to get financing for that house. They're out shopping for their dream home. So I think this is where we agree, I think, is we need to attract the realtor, right? We need to get the realtor into our ecosystem and get in front of as many as we can. Now, from a programmatic, like digital marketing side, running webinars to educate these realtors on different loan products you have, on the way that you'll massage their leads, just getting them into your funnel for a webinar, or if you want to do a local lunch and learn and run ads to a local demographic to get them at that lunch and learn. Now you have all these realtors in your funnel. You're showing them that you're an expert in the mortgage space, and you're informing them of all of the strategies and tools that you have to make sure their customer has the best experience possible. So that's the way that I would funnel the realtor in. Get referrals from the realtors to build that. We're not targeting the consumer. Again, through programmatic marketing, through digital marketing, we can build that funnel to bring realtors in.
Yeah, you and I could probably do multiple episodes
Absolutely.
on just this topic.
Yeah, that's one strategy.
And maybe later in the year, we'll do some of our like TLOP master classes. Mark, if you could write that down and help me remember it, maybe after the summer months. After the summer months, we can bring you on to actually teach how to do it.
Yeah.
Like there's things I want Mike to do for the TLOP community. I want him to be able to teach us as loan originators how to build a simple landing page, how to run simple ads in order to promote virtual home buying workshops.
Yeah.
Right. And you've told me, and this is not this particular episode, but it's really easy if you want to go after like VA home loan applicants.
Yep.
Because for many reasons, I usually say for whatever reason, but it's a real reason, they are easy for marketers like Mike to find. But any non-military, they're not. So you're just casting a wide net. They're low quality leads. They're low conversion leads.
Your cost of acquisition is going to be through the roof.
Your cost to acquire that lead is through the roof. It's a long sales cycle. Like right now, a realtor refers me. If they qualify, they're typically buying in like 90 to 120 days.
Yeah.
Right. Some of these leads I have to nurture for 90 to 120 weeks before they finally do something. And it wasn't a trusted lead. So therefore, they're going to shop me. So therefore, I need to be cheaper. And now my margins are less. My commission is less. And I have to pay for my marketing still. So yes. There are ways I like to do online marketing, but mine is typically how do I take my current database and upload it into Meta and run ads to it? Whether it's my friends and family, my circle of influence, my past clients, my current prospective borrowers, or even my realtors. And I would love to work with an agency like yours to just do that. Yeah. I would like to have a website that has some kind of like tracking or stickiness.
Yep.
And then you, the professional, can track everyone who came to my website. Then we can run retargeted ads to them.
Based on what they engaged with on the landing page.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm not looking to go after strangers. What I'm looking to do is remind the people who already know what I do for a living that I'm still around, I'm relevant, I'm damn good at what I do. And I would put some money behind that.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously my personal brand and creating content as a way to potentially draw people into my ecosystem. But yeah, I think running ads online for lead purposes, you're either all in or you're all out. Mm-hmm. Most of us are all out and we're not all in. If I were to run Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, 80% of the people who make $1 million+ a year in this industry, they don't do so by running ads online. Right. So that's kind of my take on that. I had one more thing that I needed to share with the group before I go to your last question, Karina, and it's this. So many of you heard me talk about TLOP's Career Advisory Service. This is your opportunity to reach out to me whenever you have or need career advice, right? In fact, if you have advice, I probably don't need it or want it at this standpoint, but if you need advice, like reach out. I'm Dustin Owen on LinkedIn. It's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. You can go to our website, and I'm sure there's a questionnaire that you can fill out at tloponline.com. But like recently, I've helped 3 top producers renegotiate better opportunities to stay with their current employer. I am helping somebody currently move from one employer to the next, and I was able to make the introduction for them. And another person already had their offer negotiated. They just wanted me to review it. So as I'm doing this, I'm now getting opportunities coming my way. So I currently have an opportunity, a friend of mine in the industry who has a national MSA, that's a marketing service agreement. So think captive audience, think being the preferred lender with a certain real estate office. And he needs originators in these 4 markets. He needs Phoenix, he needs Houston, he needs Atlanta, and he needs Denver. So if you're a mortgage loan originator who is already funding at least $3 million a year in production, so you can prove last year you did a minimum of $3 million in production, and you're in either Denver, Atlanta, Houston, or Phoenix, and you'd be interested in this opportunity, hit me up. I'm do@tloponline.com. I am Dustin Owen if you find me on LinkedIn, and those would be the 2 easiest ways to get a hold of me. All right. I promised my buddy I would do that for him. I didn't do it a week ago. I need to do it this week. So what do you have for me now, Karina?
When do I know when it's time to hire an assistant?
Oh, easy answer? Because we're probably running short on time here. You know you're ready when you're already funding at least 5 loans a month. 5 loans a month. If you're doing less than 5, I'm going to promise you, because there's people out there that are like, oh, the sky's falling, my hair's on fire. If you're having trouble funding 5 loans a month, you just need to get better. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying that to be truthful, to be honest. Like, no pain, no gain. This pain that you're feeling will force you to get better. It'll force you to follow your calendar. It'll force you to create systems and maybe even to draft SOPs. It'll force you to control your time and stop giving away your time to everybody, right? It'll force you to control your client and to work better with your referral sources. So my answer typically is 5.
Solid.
If you're not doing 5 units, you don't need an assistant. You need to get better. If you're going to hire an assistant, why are you going to hire an assistant? Preferably so you can go from 5 units to 10. Like, that's how leverage works. You've done a lot of team building, Mike, in your world, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's your vodka company, whether it's your marketing agency, whether it was the baby boutique that you and your wife used to own. When you look at team building, what have you learned as it pertains to hiring an assistant for the sole purpose of scaling?
Team building and hiring assistant. So from that's kind of from 2 angles there, but it's Dan Martell, right? We always talk about this.
Yes,
Dan
buy
Martell,
back your time.
Buy back your time, right? If I'm worried about the little tasks and my hands are on the little tasks, I only have so much capacity as a human. We can only do so much in a day, right? And then there's this whole work-life balance piece that we have to consider. Investing in a resource to help you keep your sanity to take on those little tasks, those mundane tasks that you're getting, frankly, paid too much to do, and allowing you to have that sanity is so critical. And then that allows you, I mean, on a team building side, I think we're talking about 2 different things here, but on a team building side, like, I'll tell you what, at G&G Fleet Service, first thing I'm doing is building culture, but I can only build culture if I have the right people in the right places taking on my smaller tasks. Well, now I'm freed up. Now my mental capacity's there, right? And I can engage with my resources and build a company culture that's like no other.
Yeah, you kind of went another culture path.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, when I say team building, it's like, hey, at first I'm going to hire an LOA or I'm going to hire a loan partner. And then like you either hire a loan partner first or an LOA first, depending on what you and your coach discuss or what you and your branch manager discuss, but also depending on like what you need the most. Most of us need an LOA.
Yeah,
we do.
got it.
And some people can get away with a virtual assistant. Mark, you're currently hiring your first
actually,
team member.
Before we get into that,
yes,
I actually wanted to give some insight from, like, once upon a time ago when we did the blueprint check-in for our members.
Yeah. Oh, when you were running accountability calls for our members.
Yes.
Okay.
Won't name names, but I remember there was someone in particular asking about, like, hiring an LOA and everything like that. And I remember in these calls, if you ever been on them, usually just like 3 people every Monday, I asked the hard questions. And, you know, I asked this person, you know, you struggle sometimes just to make your calls. So why do you need an assistant? Because your assistant's not going to make the calls for you, right? So I would say, to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, when do you need an assistant is not so that you can get more leads and get more in. Maybe that branches off of it, but really you have so much coming in that you can't take care of what's in front of you now, so that you can go get more. Yeah. So I just wanted to share that. Sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, no, that's great insight. But that was solid. No, it was. I mean, what are 2 things that you're focused on right now? Your assistant starts on Monday, so you're getting ready for her.
Yeah.
Like, what's one thing you learned during this process that you can look at this camera and tell someone, hey, my team has been doing this, and before you hire an assistant, make sure you do X.
The first was tracking my own time.
There you go.
Solid.
You asked me to do a practice that we have our LO launch or originator launch students do week 1, which is probably the most daunting task that we asked them to do. And I was also kind of like, DL, why the fuck are you making me do this?
Because I'm your boss, bitch.
No, you're right. No one else has to do it. But, you know, 2 weeks in, I started seeing gaps. I started seeing things that I was doing that was just a time suck. I started seeing things that it's like, I wish I could do more of this. And it just gave me more insight as to what I do on a daily basis, what's recurring. You know, what's something that I can teach or train once that then can be repeatable, that I don't have to teach it again, and I can trust this person that coming in on Monday to take over, to free me up to be able to you talked this week a lot about your genius zone. I love researching stuff. I'm a nerd. I like getting on the computer, finding solutions to things that we haven't started doing yet.
Yeah, so we're hiring an assistant because I need Mark doing more projects.
Yes.
Right? I'm the visionary. I'm the one that comes up with the idea, but I don't necessarily have the skill set or desire or the enjoyment to go and do all the research. Mm-hmm. So I can come up with the idea, ask Mark to research it, but Mark can only research it if we get certain things off of his plate. Yeah, so hopefully that answers that question. Yeah. That brings us to the conclusion of today's episode. Great job, y'all. Yeah, I love this dynamic. JC who? Seriously. Don't tell him I said that. Yeah. Don't tell him I said that. But no, seriously, this is really fun. We should probably continue doing more just like this. Shout out to our friends over at Housing Wire. Their event, The Gathering, is coming up. I'm actually going. And for the first time in a long time, I'm not going to podcast. I'm not going to be speaking on stage. I get to do that at Mortgage Con. I get to do that at Town Bank Mortgage. Yes. I did it at Novus this year. I'm going to do it for Oklahoma Mortgage Bankers later this year. No, I get to go as a participant.
We need you to network.
Yeah, so Austin, Texas, I'm coming your way. April 2026, it's The Gathering. It's my favorite event that Housing Wire puts on every year. So shout out to Housing Wire. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in Texas in just a couple months. But on that note, I mean, she is the producer extraordinaire. We call her Special K, but she is Karina Mojica. This is Money Mark, a.k.a. the Deacon, also known by his legal name, Mark E. Holmes. And this is Marketing Mike. You'll hear me call him Mikey, Rocky, Venny. That's because the guy has 3 first names with some long-ass Sicilian last name. And I am your host with the most. I am Dustin Owen. The show is the Loan Officer Podcast. If for whatever reason you stumbled across this for the first time, we say thank you. Do us a favor. If you're on Spotify or Apple, give us a 5-star review. That is how we get more people to know that this content exists. If you're on YouTube, I say thank you. Click that subscribe button. We love to see our subscribers elevate from the 26,000s into the 30,000s. And then lastly, if you're an originator or a mortgage broker looking for coaching, we offer the #1 value in mortgage coaching. All the information you need to get started, including your free 14-day trial, it's on our website, tloponline.com. She's Karina, he's Mark, he's Mike, I'm Dustin. That's all the time we have for you today, but we look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.